Hey, what's up guys? Today I'll show you an American thriller film, The Cabin in the Woods. Spoiler ahead, watch out and take care. The movie begins with a few pictures that mention a sacrifice. Then we can see two engineers talking about their marriage, and one of them says that he and his wife are trying to get pregnant. Then they grab some coffee, and another female engineer informs them that a similar ritual in Stockholm has been a failure. The two men get annoyed and drive off in their mini golf cart-like vehicle. In the next scene, we can see a woman named Dana walking around her room in her panties. Then she takes a look at her sketch of her professor and thinks about the past. Her friend named Jules walks in and tells her to stop thinking about the professor. Dana gets surprised after seeing that Jules has dyed her hair blonde and tells her that her boyfriend Kurt would love it. Then Jules proceeds to pack a pair of underwear for Dana in case Dana gets lucky to play the hormone game. Kurt walks in and throws a football at them. But Dana and Jules dodge it, and it goes out. Luckily, a new transfer student named Holden appears in time and catches the ball. Then Kurt introduces Holden to them and proceeds to tease Jules for dyeing her hair. Jules gets upset and runs off. Kurt recommends another book for Dana and leaves the room, telling her to wear some pants. In the next scene, we can see the group of friends packing for their trip to the cabin in the woods. When another friend named Marty arrives, with his car filled with a lot of smoke from the pot. Dana and Kurt walk to him, and Kurt tells him to keep the huge bong in the car, to which Marty transforms the bong into a small coffee mug. They all get going in their recreational vehicle nicknamed Rambler, and an agent watches over them from the top of their dorm. On the way, Jules tells them that the road on which they are going is not even on the GPS. Marty tells her that it's the whole point and says that they need to stay off the grid. Then Marty talks about some Illuminati, and everyone jokes about him. Then we see a huge metal door open, and the two engineers from the beginning of the movie finally reach their office. A new security guard named Daniel checks them, and they all go in. The two engineers take their positions and start tracking the group of friends. The group arrives at an old gas station and tries to use the gas pumps. Holden looks inside and walks into the store. He finds all sorts of animal skins inside the shop. Right when he gets out, the owner pops up and scares the shit of him. Kurt tells the old man that they stopped by to buy some gas, and Holden tells them that they need directions. The old man says that the Buckners used to live there and there's always someone trying to sell that house. Then the old man tells the group that he's been here since the war, to which Jules asks, which war? This pisses off the old man, and he yells at her. Marty walks in and teases the old man about the war. The situation heats up and the old man calls Jules a whore. The argument ends with Holden pulling back Kurt from hitting the old man. Then they all leave to the cabin in the Rambler. On the way, they go into a tunnel, and an eagle soars along with them, only to be hit dead by an invincible electric barrier. They finally reach the cabin in the woods, and we can see Marty looking at the cabin, knowing that this is going to end badly. Dana is the first to walk into the cabin and looks around the cabin. Holden walks into his room and finds a painting of monsters feeding on an animal. This creeps him out, and he removes the picture. To his surprise, he finds a two-way mirror, and on the other side, he sees Dana. Holden looks at her. And Dana, not knowing that she's being watched, begins to undress. Holden hesitates for a moment, but informs the gang about the mirror anyway. Then Holden sees that Dana is feeling uncomfortable because of the mirror, and tells her that they can switch their rooms. Dana feels relieved and thanks him for doing that. Dana goes into the other room and finds Holden removing his shirt. Dana couldn't take her eyes off of Holden and looks at him in awe. Right when Holden proceeds to remove his pants, Dana puts back the picture and covers up the mirror. Dana looks at the painting and gets freaked out by it too. Then she covers it up using a bedsheet, and the camera begins to back away slowly. To our surprise, we can see that all of them are being watched by the men in the facility. The two engineers talk about how successful they're going to be by the end of the day. The female engineer finally finds her way and catches up to the men. She tells them that they have managed to reduce the thinking ability of Jules by mixing a chemical in the hair dye that lowers the cognition. A security guard calls and informs them of a call from the old man at the gas station. One of the engineers accepts the call from the old man, and we can see a cinematic scene of the old man talking about a group of friends. He proceeds to talk to the two engineers in an old-fashioned way and gets roasted by them. The old man gets pissed off and ends the call with them. In the next scene, Dana and Holden jump right into the lake and ask the other to join them. Kurt pushes Jules into the water and joins them. Back at the facility, the workers place bets on the group, with each department choosing a different way the group dies. While they are betting, the female scientist looks at the new security guard Daniel and tries to use her hormones on her. She tries to use her hormones on her, but it doesn't work. The engineers take up all the bets, and the scene shifts back to the cabin. The group starts drinking and partying. Marty calls out Jules and asks her truth or dare. Jules picks dare, and Marty tells her to make out with the severed wolf head put up on the wall. Jules without hesitation agrees to it and proceeds to walk towards the head. To everyone's surprise, Jules' hormones get up and starts giving a literal tongue massage to the severed head. Everybody looks at her tongue massage in awe and appreciates her for the performance. Then Jules asks Dana for truth or dare, and Dana chooses dare. Right when she says dare, the cellar door pops open and scares the shit out of everybody. Since Dana chose dare, they dare her to enter the dark cellar. Dana uses a flashlight and looks around. She finds a portrait of a young girl and freaks out. Hearing her screams, all her friends come down and look around. They find various mysterious things lying in the cellar. Dana takes a look at a diary and reads a passage from it. We get to know that the people who had lived earlier in the cabin were called the Buckners. Then Dana sees something written in Latin and proceeds to read it. Right when she finishes, we can see a group of zombies getting out from their graves. The zombies resemble the same family that used to live in the house previously. Back at the facility, the two engineers announce the winner who had betted on the zombies. In the next scene, Jules begins to dance, rousing everyone's hormones. Holden and Dana sit on the couch together and watch in shock as Kurt drinks and motivates Jules. Then Jules proceeds to dance in front of Marty, and Marty gets weirded out. Kurt and Jules go out to the forest to let go of their hormones, and Marty back to his room, leaving Dana and Holden alone. Meanwhile, Dana gives Holden a cup of beer, and they both chat for some time about the Latin phrase in the book. At the same time, Kurt and Jules go deep into the forest, searching for a good spot to let go of their hormones. The engineers at the facility control the environment in order for a human to let go of their hormones. The environment gets suitable, and they both proceed to share a passionate tongue massage. What they don't know is that a large group of nerds is watching them. They both begin to play the game. Right in the middle of their session, a zombie stabs Jules' hand. As usual in a horror movie, the dumb blonde gets killed first, and the muscular guy gets knocked out. Then the zombie family decapitates Jules, while Kurt escapes back to the cabin. Kurt tries to explain the situation to others, and tells them to stay together. Kurt gets even dumber from the gases, and tells them to take cover in their separate rooms. In his room, Marty finds a hidden camera with a microphone. But unfortunately, he gets dragged to the grave by a zombie. In the facility, the engineers get to know that sacrificial rite in Japan has also failed. This means that the sacrificial rite in America is humanity's last hope. The surviving three, Kurt, Holden, and Dana, get into their RV and escape. But the engineer manages to collapse the tunnel to block their way. Kurt gets on his motorcycle and attempts to jump across the huge ravine to get help. But unfortunately, he crashes into the invincible force field and falls down the ravine. Finally, Holden and Dana realize that everything had been staged by someone. Holden drives the RV in search of another way out and is killed by a zombie. Then the RV gets drowned in the lake, and Dana is the only survivor. Once she gets above the water, she gets attacked by the Papa Zombie. The Papa Zombie starts hurting Dana, while the people at the facility celebrate the success of the sacrifice. Suddenly, they get a phone call from the director of the facility, who reveals that Marty is still alive somewhere in the facility. Marty arrives in time and saves Dana from Papa Zombie. He takes her to a hidden elevator in the grave, which he discovered. There, Marty controls the elevator, and they both get down to the lab. To their shock, they find a huge collection of various monsters, all locked up in cages. They get cornered by a security guard, and they manage to escape him. Dana presses the purge button and releases all the monsters. The monsters wreak havoc and slaughter each and every one at the facility. One of the engineers gets killed by a monster, while Dana stabs another. Later, Dana and Marty discover an ancient sacrificial chamber and meet the director. The lady explains that human sacrifices are held all over the world to please the ancient gods. The director further reveals that the American sacrificial ritual involves the sacrifice of 5 people: the whore, the athlete, the scholar, the fool, and finally the virgin. Then the director smooth talks Dana and asks her to shoot Marty. Dana is about to kill him, but she gets attacked by a werewolf. The zombie girl from the book arrives and kills the director. Dana and Marty conclude that humanity is not worth saving at the price of human sacrifices. So Dana apologizes for almost shooting Marty, and they share a smoke. The sacrificial chamber's floor collapses, and the movie ends with a giant hand emerging from the ground. This is Daniel CC Movie Channel. Peace out.